All right, new gun day. Springfield Armory's been really busy bringing out a lot of products over the last couple of weeks, and we have one product that's brand new today, just released. Pretty exciting stuff. So we're going to be looking at an AR pistol, an AR, and a pistol. I'm not going to show it to you yet, okay? But we're talking with Rob Leatham, of course, master shooter, one of the best shooters on the planet over the last 25, 30 years, and he's joining us by Skype. Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I am the best shooter in this room.
Absolutely, and I am the fifth best shooter in this room. So, all right. So let's start off with this little puppy, which is the Saint pistol, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So an AR-15 pistol or an MSR, modern sporting rifle pistol. Can it be a modern sporting rifle pistol? We'll get back to that.
Modern sporting pistol rifle, maybe. Or I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Easy for you to say. Okay, so what is it that we need to know about this?
Well, this whole genre of firearms, when it first came out, I kind of thought it was silly, Tom. Realistically, yep. I'm like, well, why not have an SBR if you want to have an SBR?
Right.
And the process of getting an SBR is so complicated that this kind of cuts to the chase, and you still get to have your little short, compact AR. It gives you the shootability of a rifle. It gives you the control of a rifle, capacity, right. All those cool things, but it's technically considered a pistol.
And here you go. You've got a brace. You slip your arm in there so you can shoot it one-handed. Right. But the important thing is, and people need to understand this, the ATF has given us a ruling that it is not illegal, it's okay to shoulder your AR pistol and shoot it this way. Am I right?
And in that configuration, that is the coolest thing we've come up with in a long, long time. Yeah. And I have to admit, I'm coming from the side that thought they were kind of silly at the beginning.
I did too. I got to tell you, I said, an AR-15 pistol, really? And you're like, yeah, can you hold it? What do you do? But when you got this, and it becomes a quasi-stock on here, and I'm thinking, for me, I'm going to put a red dot. I might even put a laser on this. Now you have, in essence, an SBR without the 1-year waiting period, without the $200 tax, and it's compact enough to where you can keep it in a truck, you can keep it places. It becomes a pretty cool self-defense tool.
Right, it becomes extremely good for that. That's really where I see the market for that part is, obviously, if you're going to have a real rifle, have a full-size rifle, you're not going to care about all the little compact pieces. Sure. But there's a home defense, or like, say, in an airplane, Tom, or something like that.
Or in a truck. And, I would be pretty tempted to put a suppressor on this puppy, I got to tell you.
Yeah, so, the blast deflector that we've created for that, which is that complicated piece on the end, actually keeps the noise and blast decibels down to manageable, but you still have to realize a 7.5-inch barrel 5.56 is still going to make a heck of a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's pretty darn noisy. It really is. So I like the fact that, let me see here. Okay, you even put Saint on the bolt, so I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's all the engineering was all about, just getting that.
Well, yeah. I would think so. All right. So,
very reliable, very accurate. It's a really cool piece of equipment, and I think people are eating it up.
Good deal. Okay, so now let's move to another AR. Of course, Springfield's been tearing it up with the Saint. I got to tell you, I thought you guys were crazy bringing out a new AR in the market that we had. And I was at a gun store recently, like this week. He said, we cannot keep the Saint in stock. He said they are selling so fast. I don't know what you guys did, but man, it's taken off.
Well, when we went into the AR business, it's like jumping into the pool with 10,000 sharks already in there. You damn well better, coming in with something good. So by coming in with really good barrels, really good solid trigger mechanisms, the best bolt carrier groups we could get, and decent hardware, original Saint has stayed selling when, to be honest with you, when other people are having trouble moving them. Yep. This version of the rifle, which is the third, and we've had the standard Saint with that floating handguard on it. This is one that we ultimately wanted to build, that we've been working on for almost a year now.
Really?
Yeah. So all the little things. If you give it, if you ask somebody like us, we're gun people, what do we want in like a competition type rifle? Well, we want it to be light, so it weighs 6.3 pounds. For me, it's the trigger and the barrel. I'll be honest with you. It needs to shoot well. It needs to hold up, and it needs to have a great trigger. And that trigger right there is as good, if not better, than most $200 to $300 aftermarket triggers.
Really? Let's find out, he says. Ooh.
Yeah, it's clean, it's short, it's the thing you'd be looking after. Yep. It's not good. It's a great trigger. The barrel's fantastic. It's light. We've made our own comp, which, if you look at it, it kind of looks like an old. It looks like the comp.
It's like something on a tank.
It's exactly what I was going to say. I think they kind of copied the comp off of. I don't remember which howitzer it is.
Yeah.
One of the mobile howitzer guns had it comp like that. And while that is the loudest thing on the range, when you shoot it, that gun barely moves. It is so controllable and adds accuracy so much. The gun's compact. If you look at the machining on the receiver, you can't really see it. It's an ambi safety. It has the best bolt carrier group we can possibly make. There's all these little cutouts in the receiver to make it light. And, you know, it's a billet receiver. And dang it, Tom, we did this one as good as we could. This wasn't a settle for something. It was as good as we could.
Well, the trigger is great. Honestly, I thought, well, yeah, it's an AR trigger. Come on, Rob. I tried it. Go, no, that's as good as the aftermarket triggers. Yeah. I'll tell you the other thing is, and I'm just talking from standpoint of putting it in my hands. I love the way it feels, and yeah, this would be great for competition. But I think this would be a really good hunting rifle too.
I agree. Very, very light. With 8 twist barrel, it'll shoot any of the bullets. So when you get into the heavier bullets, and it won't matter. It seems to shoot everything well. They've been phenomenally reliable. It's an adjustable gas system. You can fix it if you want so it doesn't adjust. You can set it up so you can adjust it with a screw, or you can jet it so it's not adjustable, but you can modify. It's very well thought out.
It comes with a good set of sights too. I'm just checking that out.
Yeah, you got your backup sights, although we assume anybody that I know, including myself and you, we're going to have some sort of optical sight on that, whether it's magnifier or a non-magnifying red dot sight. That's really how you take advantage of it.
For the Mr. Magoo's among us, yes.
Correct.
So, all right, so this is the one that's being announced today, brand spanking new. Let me just drop this because it has a hammer. It is the XD-E, but if I were to turn it around, which I'm not going to do, and point it at the camera, the hole at the end is really a lot bigger, right?
Yeah, so we, just to make sure, we're okay to show this, right?
Yeah, I got the okay about 20 minutes ago. We can talk about it now, yes.
Okay, good, because, you know, up till my last notification, that's a secret. So that's the new XD-E in 45. The first version came out in 9mm, I don't remember, it's about June, if I remember properly.
Right.
And, of course, whenever you introduce a gun in A caliber, the very first question you get is, when's it available in the other
caliber, whatever it was, yes.
It's the funniest thing. You do it in 45, and the guy says, when's the 9 coming out? You do it in 9, when's the 45 coming out?
Right.
So now we can say they're both out.
Okay, so we got a 9 and got a 45, XD-E. Some people just like an exposed hammer.
Right.
They just do, okay? So what do we... And a decocker.
Right.
So those who don't know, because you know there are people out there that have never shot a hammer gun or one with a decocker. Don't try to hold on to the hammer and pull the trigger, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't like some of the older DASA guns. You know, you have to hold the hammer to lower it.
Right.
Oh, that what you and I would call the safety lever on that from us old 1911 guys.
Yeah.
That is a safety. If you push it up, it's a safety, and it deactivates the trigger. If you push it down to the first time it stops, now it's on fire. If you pull it down even further, it decocks.
Just like that.
So the safety lever is safety lever / decocker. And if you want, when the hammer's down, you can also put the safety on, which then deactivates the trigger. So it's basically, that's as safe as a firearm can be and still be a firearm.
It's belt and suspenders, so it's safe and it will not go off. But when you put this into the middle position, now it functions as a double action. The trigger is more forward. You pull it a long way, all the way back. It goes off, and then, of course, the slide works, and it leaves the hammer back, and now you're in single action mode.
Exactly. So it gives you all the options. For somebody that isn't comfortable with the 1911 and dealing with just the safety, or somebody that doesn't want a striker fired gun, they want, and I can tell you a person, I live with one of those people. When I got the 9mm version of that, Kippy immediately chose that as her carry gun because she just feels better about the longer, heavier double action.
Okay. Well, and here's the thing. If it were you and me, and probably with Kippy, the way I would operate this is if I chose to carry it with the hammer down, and with this gun I would have the hammer down, but I would not, if it were me, I would not have the safety on when the hammer's down.
No, absolutely not. The hammer's sitting in a rebounded position. You can bang it with a hammer all day long or slam it on the ground, whatever you want. It cannot go off.
Right.
But if you're carrying it, if you're a 1911 guy, and when we did an introduction with some writers and things with that, a whole bunch of them just shot it like a 1911, cocked it off.
Really? Okay, so they cocked it, had the safety on, and then when they pull it out, they sweep the safety down and then fire it single action.
Yeah, so you kind of have the best of both worlds. You pick which way you like.
It can actually be whatever it is you want it to be.
Exactly what it is. So probably one of the coolest features of the gun, Tom, is that it's very easy to operate the slide. On some of the little striker-fired guns, in order for the slide to be able to overcome the weight of the striker also and still feed, we have to put hellaciously heavy springs in some of the small guns. So this gun is very easy to actually operate. So somebody that struggles, doesn't want a lot of weight on the weight of the slide, for a 45, that's very, very light. They're phenomenally accurate. In my testing on that, both in the 9 and the 45, I've never seen a more reliable gun.
Really, that's something.
Yeah, we don't even clean them when we'll do endurance tests and have guys shooting thousands of rounds of them all day long. I've yet to see one malfunction that wasn't, like a primer in backwards or something, which isn't really the gun. So
and it's thin, it's single stack, it's kind of right in the sweet spot for carry guns.
Right. It's what I like to. It's not a pocket pistol. It's not tiny.
It's not,
because I think you're kind of the same way. I don't really like tiny guns because tiny guns are hard to shoot. So there's a magic spot in the size realm, which is big enough to shoot, small enough to carry, and that kind of fits right in there. And it's very, very thin. It's less than an inch thick. Ambidextrous safety lever and all that kind of stuff, and has all the other features. Comes in that one. You get 2 magazines. It comes with a 5-rounder and then a 6-round extender, and you can put a little pinky extender if you don't want the whole grip to be longer. Basically, makes a very reliable and safe's not the word. It's a secure thing. It's I feel good about it kind of thing. And for those of you that were disappointed that the first one was a 9mm, well, guess what? Now you can have the big boy.
Also, it's got a good set of sights on it. I like that.
Yeah.
So, very sweet.
They have shooters at that company that are kind of finicky about things like that.
Really? Do you know any of them?
Oh, I've met them, but we're not allowed to discuss those guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you guys have also been pretty busy. If we go back a month or so, I'm just looking at the list here. You got a whole list of things you guys have been bringing out. You're not waiting for SHOT Show for any of this. You got a whole series of RO Elites. What are those?
Well, those are another grade of 1911s that have improved sights and safeties and triggers, and you have compacts with the short frames and 4-inch barrels up to the operators, which are all the rage right now, which are 5-inch guns with accessory rails on and adjustable sights. Basically this kind of stuff that the guy wants to build his 1911 into, but is looking for the bargain. Those RO Elites are the bargain. They are just great fluff for the dollar.
I've had something happen recently. I bet you've been seeing it too. You're seeing a new generation of people who were brought up on striker fire guns when they first get a chance to shoot a 1911, right? It's like, wow. Now I see what you old guys have been talking about.
They're discovering the 1911. See, I ran into this thing a few years ago when I realized that the students I was getting in a lot of classes were my generation. We grew up and we had revolvers in 1911s and moved into other things as they came around. We have a whole generation now that started with a polymer pistol, and their idea of a gun is a striker-fired polymer pistol, no matter who takes it. And for them, a 1911 is something that gets discussed on the internet, and they have never shot one. So they're rediscovering the 1911.
And they realize how good it is.
Exactly. Well, we start to talk triggers, and the guys will say, well, this gun has a real short reset. This gun has a great light trigger pull. I says, have you ever shot one of these old 1911s? And every one of them's like, wow, it's really thin. Yeah, it is. That's a big deal right now. Yeah, it's always been thin. He says, well, it has a really kind of a very ergonomically simple grip. It says, yeah, it's straight and flat. And the trigger pull, it only moves a short distance and it's not very heavy. It has a real short reset. And I'm like, yeah. And you know what? If you want it in a big bullet, they make them in 45 too.
Yeah, how about that? Okay, along those lines, I got to share a story with you I heard yesterday. A guy I know was at a hunting camp. He had a bolt-action rifle, and he put it down in the cabin right next to a guy's AR. And another fella brought his 7-year-old son in, and his son was looking around, and he looked at the two rifles, and he looked at my friend and says, the guy that had the bolt-action says, why are you using that when there's a much better rifle there? The 7-year-old said, the AR, he knows the AR is a better rifle. So yeah. There you go, right?
The kids, and I don't fault them for not knowing, but I can tell you that when I hand one of my 1911, especially one with just a little, not my full house guns, because that's cheating.
Sure.
But just one with a little bit of tuning, which is, I put the grips I like on it, and
right.
It's got the sights I want it. You take a gun like that Elite and hand it to somebody that's never shot one before.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time they're like, oh my God, this thing's really easy to shoot. So, yeah.
and their groups get smaller.
They get smaller and smaller, and then they go like, I don't really like the trigger on this other thing anymore. Well,
yeah. And you say, well, that's what we're talking about. We talk about it's a good trigger for a duty gun,
right.
But they all try to be as good as a 1911.
Right. So now you know the standard bearer, what you're actually comparing.
That's right. But now, seriously though, if you want a carry gun, it's pretty hard to improve on this. I think you guys have hit a home run with this one, man.
We've covered all the bases on that. The only guy that's not going to be happy with that gun is the one that wants a striker fire gun.
Yeah. And you make those too.
Yeah, and we got that. We have lots of those too, so we can take care of that too.
If you don't like the hammer, get the XDS. If you do like the hammer, get the XD-E for external hammer. I guess that's what it's for.
Well, actually, that has been discussed several times. I think our latest iteration, it's E for easy.
E for easy.
Yeah, but I never know, Tom. It could have changed tomorrow.
Okay. All right, Rob, you guys have been busy. We've got the Saint pistol, we got the Saint Edge, and we have the brand new today, the XD-E in 45 ACP. And I know you guys have more things. We're actually going to be hearing about more things even before SHOT Show, right?
There's a few other things, some cool stuff coming down the pipeline. You'll probably see them before the people watching this do. But
I actually have them, and I can't go.
Gag order.
Can't talk about them. But they are really cool. You guys are busy, man.
Yeah, we have been. Our R&D department is getting overworked. Thank goodness Dave Williams likes to do it.
That's right. Hey, Rob, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you when you have some new things out, which will be very soon. And then we're going to see you at the SHOT Show.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tom.
Take care. Rob Leatham, new things from Springfield Armory.